Stuck in SDR Purgatory? You don't need to guess your way into an AE role. There are only 3 proven escape routes. Most SDRs wait years jumping for the right timing or jump to the wrong company, only to end up starting from scratch. The truth is, if you don't follow a clear path, you'll spin your wheels and watch your peers pass you by. Every SDR who makes it out does one of 3 routes. The first route is an internal promotion, which is the fastest if your org has openings. The lateral SDR move is a move to a top org with better promotion rates. And then there's thirdly the external leap straight into an AE role, which is the hardest but possible with the right preparation. And this isn't just theory, that's just how the game is played. And so that's why I've put together the SDR escape plan. It's basically a breakdown of the exact 3 exit strategies, including action steps, tools, and company lists, so you don't have to waste your time guessing. And that's what we'll go through today. So first off, we have the internal promotion, as I mentioned. This is the most direct and often preferred exit strategy that I recommend when transitioning to an SMB AE role. And it's honestly not just what I recommend, it's what virtually every AE recommends that I've spoken to. And I'll kind of go through why that is. So the advantage is you're familiar with the company's product already, familiar with their product, services, and culture, which gives you a significant advantage, right? You built relationships, you already have a good brand, and then when it comes time to actually do things like demos or try to progress your customers along the deal cycle, you're already familiar with all the tools and everything involved with your company because you've been an SDR there. The biggest disadvantage is you need to wait for headcount to open up, right? That's the most frustrating part about the internal promotions is this is the part that's not up to you, and so you really have to wait, and that's why it's like really important to join the right org. So how do you promote here? Very simple. Typically, you need to hit quota, build your brand. Build your brand. I said that again, but then you network with AE managers. So setting up recurring calls with the manager to basically set you up for success. And then the next step is find your favorite AEs and basically ask them how you can start owning the AE tasks such as running calls, demos, etc. And basically helping implement what the AE managers are going to say, hey, in order for you to be a top candidate, you're going to need to do X, Y, Z. And so from step B, right? And then from here, that's where you meet with your AE managers and actually walk through that. If your AEs don't trust you yet, you have to prove that you're trustworthy. And then last but not least, of course, crush your interview. And you can take a look at this tab to grab the Promote Me playbook, another one of my videos. So feel free to check that out there. And there's also a PDF as well. And then side note, you can download this entire PDF inside the SDR Accelerator School community. So which is entirely free to join. And yeah, if you don't want to watch this whole video, you can just download this, but this video breaks down a little bit more in depth, so feel free to keep watching. Okay, the next step to make is that you can do is the lateral move. And this is typically what I recommend if you've been in SDR. Sorry, I'll just read this. Not all SDRs are created equally. That's why it's lateral, right? It's technically, I'd say, a diagonal jump. I recommend this move if you see no internal route to account executive at your current org, and if you've been there under 9 months. Of course, every situation is nuanced, but the mindset here is it's clear you're not going to become an AE where you are now. When you've been there less than 9 months, it's not like you have that sunken cost fallacy where you're just like, man, I'm just, I mean, you could say it's some of the time is wasted, but really you can leverage all that experience and jump into a much better SDR org where you have a proven track, where you can see there's a proven track record of promoting internally. And so the advantages of this route is you can leverage your experience as an SDR to land an SDR role at a top company with great training, better pay, and a great track record of promoting internally to AE. If you look at my LinkedIn, Thomas Klusman, you can see this is actually what I did. I actually was pretty bad at getting into tech sales. I did a bad job getting myself interviews. And so I was only able to land an SDR role at I love the company, I love the people there, but it's like a lower tier tech sales company called Subsplash. And anyways, from there, I was there for 5 months, and then I wanted to bounce to MongoDB just to join a better org where it's just taken more seriously in the tech sales market space. I wanted that on my resume, so that's why I made the jump. And so I was at MongoDB at a Subsplash for like 4 or 5 months, and then MongoDB for October to I think around 16 months. So yeah, the disadvantage is you're resetting basically your SDR clock, which is I actually took longer than 18 months to promote, which is something I'm trying to help people like you avoid. Um, you can delay your overall time to get an A role. If you jump to the right org, though, it'll be more than worth it, right? So if you join a top tier SDR org, it's definitely worth it to restart the clock because you're not actually restarting and you're actually kind of launching your career forward. Okay, action items. Make sure you're killing it at your current role. Uh, Quantify your success, update LinkedIn and resume with your stats, right? Uh, this is going to be necessary in order for you to get noticed by recruiters and then make the jump. Build a list of companies that are growing, have a strong product market fit, review score of over 85, and a proven record of uh, promoting internal SDRs to AE. So I have also a downloadable PDF of companies I recommend joining. That's building out. So if the list isn't big enough for you, one thing you can just do is go to LinkedIn and find a company, maybe where you live if you're not willing to relocate, find all the companies there and just start looking at filtering out like how many of the SDRs promoted internally to AE there, if that makes sense. So if nobody at the company is promoting from SDR to AE, you should not join that company. But if it happens consistently and a large number of SDRs become AEs internally, that's a great company to join. And then next is network with those SDR managers and apply. And you can also, I've created like a little link there to basically that teaches you how to create LinkedIn job alerts for roles you're interested in. Then crush your interview, and then boom, go back to step one because now you're on the internal promotion track path once you're at that new SDR org. And then also, this is a nice little tip I recommend in your LinkedIn profile. If you haven't done that, just learn how to do that. Okay, external move into an AE role. So going through this, I recommend this move if you see no internal route to account executive at your current org, and if you've been there over 9 months. So in most cases, restarting it as an SDR is just going to make your promotion timeline kind of too long, in my opinion. Again, there are nuances to this, and like there might be situations where that's not true. But it's often better just to like if you don't see a route to internal promotion or if there's a low chance, just stick it out where you are and look to bounce to a closing role externally. You might not get the closing role right away that you want. There's gonna be some tough challenges. We'll probably get into that, so don't get too ahead of myself. Advantages: if you're not at a great SDR org, it's typically easier to separate yourself from your colleagues. And so, like, yeah, sure, it's tough, but it's easier to stand out and become number one at a company like this, right? And so by 9 months, you often find your flow, understand the product pretty well, and you can actually start focusing on taking on those AE tasks because that will often be necessary in some of these external interviews is like proving that you can actually do the AE role, if that makes sense. So this is the most difficult route to take as hiring managers understandably view you as a greater risk, right? If you've never closed a deal before, there's more risk taking you on than someone who has a proven track record of closing deals. So to overcome this, you'll need to demonstrate that you're a killer SDR, right? Be top of the pack. You can handle AE responsibilities, which you can just start doing, assuming like which most AEs would be down to let you take off their workload, right? That's how you have to view it. And you may have to join a mediocre org prior to prior to joining a good AE org, if that makes sense. So you might have to stick it out at a mediocre closing role for like a year before you can bounce to a better like SMB company. But at least you get that closing experience. Okay, action items. Make sure you're killing it at your current role. Quantify your success. Update your LinkedIn resume with your stats. Again, find your favorite AE. Ask them if you can start owning tasks. As long as you're competent, they'd be happy to let you do this because it frees up their time to focus on what they want to focus on. So, and if they don't trust you yet, prove that you're trustworthy. Do the work. If they think that you're not capable of handling territory planning, then create a territory planning without asking them, and then show them on your next one-on-one, right? Okay, build a list of companies that hire SDRs into closing roles. I mentioned this already. You can download that in the Skool Classroom tab and network with these AE managers at these external roles, right? So connect with them on LinkedIn. You can even cold call them. You can email them. Ideally, even before you see an open job role, an open role. So here, this is, gives you an alert of when there's open roles. But if you see a company that you want to work for, start networking now so that when the time comes, you're top of the list, right? Most people don't do that. It's a good way to stand out. And then, of course, crush your interview. Okay. And then again, have open to AE roles toggle on your LinkedIn profile so headhunters come after you. Uh, and yeah, we'll reach out. You'll often get in-mails from mediocre closing companies that might be worth taking a look at. Okay. And as always, every situation is nuanced. There are layers of complexity. If you haven't done so already, book a career clarity call or an intro call with me on the inside of the SDR Accelerator School community. And if you're not yet, here's the link to join. I will put everything in the description. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can find the SDR Accelerator School community in the pinned comment or the description. If you're watching this inside of the SDR Accelerator School community, thank you for being here. And if you have not yet booked an intro call, do so. But like an onboarding call. So anyways, thank you so much for your time. Hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you on the next one.